shoehorned into every new series, every reimagining, because Star Wars, even as one of the largest brands in the world, cannot seem to exist without them. They cannot create anything without a Skywalker, or an Obi-Wan, or a Yoda, or a Darth Vader, and they're barely even trying to. It honestly seems like their entire goal at this point is to just be like, remember this guy? Remember this guy? And if this is all they're gonna do with the brand, what is even the point? If every new show is only going to exist as a way to remind us of something we've already seen, how much more Star Wars do we need?
Alright, this is a Your Criticism Sucks mini. And that is the idea of nostalgia being shoehorned into a franchise and not doing anything original whatsoever. Alright, now I do get it. There are those trips of nostalgia baiting, where you get a bundle of old characters to come back and tune up the band one more time after being retired or the like. I mean, the entire premise of Uncharted 4 is Nathan Drake coming out of retirement. Okay, I understand, like, some people are interested and invested into new characters taking over the mantle, taking over the franchise, but we had moments where folks don't want that. They don't want newer characters. They don't want people to succeed legacy characters. And I feel like a perfect example is how Scream was kind of doing it with Scream 5 and Scream 6, where they wanted a blend of legacy characters in Scream 5. Obviously, they killed one, but still, they had legacy characters all over that. With a blend of newer characters, they were setting up for Scream 6, and that was mostly newer characters taking over, and they stood on their own in that movie. And I would imagine that 7, before it all got fucked up, was going to do another blend of legacy characters and newer characters as well in the pre-existing ones to create this sort of culmination with the trilogy. You simply need newer characters, and you need new concepts, and you need originality in a meta series, along with the idea of nostalgia, along with the idea of older characters, bringing them back and having them come in certain ways. It all does hinge on the writing. You really need to make all the writing work and make it all cooperate with each other. I understand that point. But to say that nostalgia is bad and not needed, I thoroughly disagree. Sometimes this is what the audience comes for. This is why, I mean, if you look at something like Andor, for example, where it was this original thing, somehow Ahsoka just trumped it. It somehow beat it, right? But Ahsoka didn't beat Mandalorian, which makes sense. I mean, Mandalorian has some baby Grogu, baby Yoda ties and all that stuff, and you see that in there, right? So that doesn't count. But still, we're talking about Andor versus Ahsoka, and Ahsoka performed better than Andor, the new original series that was put out for Star Wars. What Ahsoka has is appearances from Anakin Skywalker and those nostalgia trips and bringing Ahsoka back into the picture. More people watched the nostalgia baiting that you claim, right? More people watched it because they are in tune with those characters. They love those legacy characters. Therefore, you need both. Both aren't bad together when making a franchise, and I think there are some people that are also too scared of newer characters coming in and making these sort of replacements and making these sort of big changes to the story as well, because they don't want to lose any of that nostalgia. Like Peter Parker, I've seen it before. Oh, Miles Morales is going to replace Peter Parker, but Miles Morales has been written good so far, and Peter Parker still has been along for the ride, and for better or worse, some of his stories are honestly fine for what it is, except for the comic with Paul in it, but we won't mention that shit because it doesn't exist. Either way, I said I disagree with this take because every known franchise, or every franchise known to man, has nostalgia in it. And whenever it's taken away, those people who vie for originality always say, where are the older characters? I don't care about this new rendition of characters. Some people are way too entitled to older things or older nostalgia characters, and I've seen it with Peter Parker. Any franchise needs a blend of old and new as a perfect synergy. So you have new things going forward and old reliable to pull out as an older character or an older story arc or an older planet or anything of that nature to make a cameo to get those older fans excited. Also, if originality or new stuff was this Y factor, then why did more people tune in for Ahsoka than Andor? They jingled Anakin Skywalker and people tuned in. You honestly need both to survive as a franchise, to make new contributions as well as the older contributions still, being there and making the franchise, the brand identity, the brand IP, what it is. And honestly, I'm surprised that people don't get that or they don't understand that. But it is the internet, it is X, it is YouTube content creation these days, which hasn't been really too good on the wide spectrum of speaking outside of the box.